Thank you. Thank you, Jill, particularly for organising this event tonight to give voters a chance to know who we are and what we bring to the table. So I'm going to start tonight with telling you a bit about who I am relationally, and then a bit about who I am professionally, and then what we stand for, Family First. So, who am I? Who am I? My relationships, in terms of importance, my number one most important relationship is with Jesus. And I met Jesus when I was 14. And he literally saved my life. And from that day on, I have walked with him joyfully for the rest of my life. After that relationship, my next most important one is with my beautiful husband, who after 32 years of marriage, I can honestly say I actually still really like him. And with my beautiful husband, we were blessed with 3 beautiful children. And from there, we actually took on 3 additional foster children. So raising those 6 kids has been the most joyful thing of my life. But those kids have continued to bless us because just within the last 2 weeks, grandbaby number 6 and grandbaby number 7 made an appearance. And grandbaby number 8 is on the way. So we've been very blessed. So professionally, my career started, I call it BC, before children, previous life. I started as a primary school music specialist. Then when I had my first child, I made the choice to stay home and raise my children. And I did that for about 25 years. I was a full-time stay-at-home mum, raised my 6 kids, and honestly, it is the best career choice. I do not regret that for a second. But when you do that, those kids eventually grow up and leave home. And so I had a bit of a midlife crisis and I didn't want to go back to teaching, so I decided to go back to uni and I became a lawyer. It was very interesting. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And so I was admitted to the Supreme Court of Queensland in 2021 as a solicitor. So I've chosen to stand with Family First because they are a party whose core values align with my own, and their core values are family, faith, life, freedom and enterprise. Strong families form the foundation of strong societies. They strengthen towns, cities and regions. And Family First stands for policies that will help build up families rather than tear them down. Family First believes that human life begins at conception and should be protected from that moment until natural death. Australian women deserve support, care and choices to be able to keep their children and raise them well. And we will work together to create an Australia where every mother and baby receive gold-plated support and abortion becomes an unthinkable thing. Children are our future and they must be protected. Modern gender ideologies are being forced upon our vulnerable children and they are causing great harm. Family First supports restoring the true definition of male and female, restoring the meaning of woman in the Sex Discrimination Act and keeping biological males out of women's sport and women's spaces. Family First stands with parents being able to choose the education of their children. Faith-based schools are currently under attack by progressive activists, resulting in parents of faith, Christians and Muslims and Jews and anyone of particular faith having to fight to educate their children according to that faith. We will work to prevent the recommendations of the Australian Law Reform Commission from being implemented, which would destroy faith-based schools and seek to repeal relevant provisions in the anti-discrimination law. And in the number one issue for the upcoming election, which we're all hearing about, is the cost of living crisis. This is a crisis we all feel. We feel it in our housing affordability, we feel it at the grocery store, and we particularly feel it in our electricity bills. This is a crisis that was caused by both the major parties. For a country to remain prosperous, it requires only one thing: energy. But not just any energy. It needs cheap, clean, reliable and secure energy. And Australia should be leading the world in this area. We have coal, we have gas, we have oil and we have uranium in abundance. So we should be the most energy-rich country in the world, and yet successive government policies stop us from using these resources ourselves. Family First believes Australian resources should be used by Australians for Australians. The virtue signalling obsession with renewables will bankrupt the country, destroy our security and our environment along with it. We simply cannot afford to let that happen. Australians deserve affordable electricity, not empty promises. It's time to end the renewable rot and vote family first.